Hey guys, let's get more news from Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Heat, Wizards to play game in Mexico City. It will be the NBA's 33rd game in Mexico since 1992, the most in any country outside the US or Canada. The game will be played on the annual Mexican Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, festivities. Bringing the Heat and the Wizards to Mexico City next season in conjunction with Dia de los Muertos will mark another special milestone in the NBA's long history in Mexico, Raul Zaraga, NBA Mexico Senior Vice President and Managing Director, said. The game and surrounding events will serve as the ultimate celebration of the NBA for fans in Mexico and across Latin America at a time when the momentum around basketball in the region is at an all-time high. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver had earlier said that Mexico City would likely be under consideration for future league expansion. Patty Mills talks possible Heat return as first part of free agency opens. Also, draft party details. The 2023-24 season just ended with the Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship Monday night, but the first part of NBA free agency has already begun. As part of the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, teams around the league, for the first time, can begin negotiating and potentially reach agreements on a new contract with their own impending free agents on the first day following the last game of the NBA Finals. That exclusive window began Tuesday after the Celtics clinched their 18th NBA championship with a win over the Dallas Mavericks on Monday. Veteran guard Patty Mills is among the Heat's free agents who the team was able to begin dialogue with Tuesday. He's an unrestricted free agent this summer and has interest in returning to the Heat. I've really appreciated my time here at the Heat and have really come to understand what this organization is really about, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, as well as learning a lot of things at the same time, Mills said during a Tuesday afternoon appearance at Junior Heat basketball camp at Cooper City High School. Mills, who turns 36 in August, opened this past season with the Atlanta Hawks before being waived by the Hawks and signing a minimum contract with the Heat on March 6. Mills went on to play in 5 starts, of the 21 regular season games he was available for with the Heat, averaging 5.8 points and 1.5 assists in 16.4 minutes per game. The Heat's injury issues also led to Mills playing extended minutes during the team's short 5-game playoff run. Mills logged double-digit minutes in Games 3, 4, and 5 of the Heat's first-round playoff series against the Celtics after being held out of Games 1 and 2 by coach's decision. He shot 6 of 17, 35.3%, from the field and 3 of 11, 27.3%, from three-point range during his 3 playoff appearances for the Heat. Mills, who will play for Australia this summer in the Olympics in Paris, is not considering retirement this offseason. Next season will mark his 16th in the NBA after being selected by the Portland Trail Blazers in the second round of the 2009 NBA Draft. I take really good care of myself and my body, said Mills, who has been prepping for the Olympics with off-season workouts in South Florida. The plan is to continue to play until the wheels fall off, is how I see it. I'm feeling really good. This preparation that I've had now has been one of the best that I've probably ever had. I still got some more things to achieve. When asked how the NBA's new early negotiating window will impact things, Mills wasn't sure. As a projected depth piece who could be signed on a minimum at this late stage of his career, he's not at the forefront of the Heat's free agency plan. We'll see how it plays out, if it ends up working out to be a positive thing or not, Mills said. But the Paris Olympics is definitely the focus for me. What else is the Heat permitted to do during this new exclusive negotiating window that began Tuesday? Black small square. Along with Mills, the Heat is also allowed to begin negotiating with impending free agents Haywood Highsmith and DeLon Wright. Like Mills, Highsmith and Wright also are unrestricted free agents this offseason. Black small square. The Heat could also begin talking to its own players who have player options to decide on by a June 29 deadline. That list includes Thomas Bryant, holds a $2.8 million player option for next season, Caleb Martin, holds a $7.1 million player option for next season, Kevin Love, holds a $4 million player option for next season, and Josh Richardson, holds a $3.1 million player option for next season. Black Small Square The Heat can begin dialogue with Bam Adebayo regarding a potential extension. Adebayo, who turns 27 on July 18, can sign an extension with the Heat this offseason starting on July 6, and that window will close on October 21 on the eve of the start of the 2024-25 NBA regular season. He's eligible to sign a 3-year extension worth $165 million this offseason that begins with a $51.2 million salary for the 2026-27 season. With the ability to begin contract negotiations with some of its own players and next week's NBA draft approaching, the next few weeks will be busy for the Heat. Things will get even busier when free agents can begin speaking with every team starting on June 30 at 6 p.m. For Mills, he's set to leave for Australia in the coming days to join the Australian national men's basketball team in preparation for the Paris Olympics, which begin on July 26. He hopes to get clarity on his free agent situation sooner rather than later. "I think in an ideal circumstance, it would be great," Mills said when asked if he hopes to sign with an NBA team before the start of the Olympics. "But also, I'm prepared for that not being the case. So we'll see how it goes." Draft watch party with a concert at Kaseya Center on draft night. The Heat announced Tuesday it will host an off-site NBA draft party at Vivo Plaza at Dolphin Mall on June 26, beginning at 7 p.m. The free event will be hosted in the Plaza's outdoor venue and will include immersive activities, special giveaways, a pop-up Heat store, and exclusive photo opportunities, the Heat said in a press release. The first round of the 2-round NBA draft will take place on June 26, the day of the Heat's draft party at Dolphin Mall. The Heat holds the 15th overall pick in the first round. The second round of the draft will be on June 27, with the Heat holding the 43rd overall pick in the second round. There is no draft party scheduled for that day. Proposed trade sends Heat $71 million, 20-point scorer. The Miami Heat need some reinforcements in the scoring department. They don't necessarily have to add a star, but someone who can take the burden off Jimmy Butler. A player like Collin Sexton comes to mind. Since entering the NBA in 2018, Sexton has proven that he can put the ball in the basket, having averaged more than 20 points per game in 2 consecutive seasons. If he's on the table, Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley proposed the following trade between the Heat and the Utah Jazz. Buckley explained why Sexton's scoring repertoire would appeal to the Heat. Sexton could steal a few eyeballs in South Beach, where the Heat could use more perimeter punch and downhill force. His perpetually full-throttle motor would be an easy culture fit, and he could provide the second team with the scoring boost it lost upon Tyler Herro's promotion to the opening lineup. The former number 8 pick is coming off an efficient season with the Jazz. He averaged 18.7 points per game while shooting 48.7% from the field and 39.4% from 3. Adding him would pair him with the likes of other 20-point scorers like Herro and Terry Rozier in their backcourt. He will also enter the third year of a 4-year, $71 million contract. Sexton's affordable contract could also make him appeal more to the Heat. Trading for Sexton might be possible because he could be available this offseason. Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto reported that the Jazz could put him on the market. There's also a belief from rival executives who spoke with Hoops Hype that guards Collin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson could become available on the trade market, Scotto wrote in a June 15 story. If Sexton becomes available, the Heat have the assets to acquire him. They have to ask themselves if it's worth trading an off-ball sharpshooter like Robinson for Sexton, an on-ball shot creator. Rozier brings a lot of what Sexton brings to the table. However, getting efficient scoring on a cheap contract is a rare opportunity to pass up. Sexton has never played for a playoff team. However, that may be a chicken or the egg situation, and it may not necessarily be his fault. Miami acquiring him would certainly change his fortunes there. With Sexton potentially hitting the market, The Ringer's Kevin O'Connor explained why he considers him a hidden gem. He has all the ingredients of a player who can help contribute to a team that does play on the biggest stage, O'Connor wrote. Sexton is an explosive downhill attacker who gets into the paint at will. When he's not finishing using crafty layups or floaters, he's a willing playmaker. He's also a knockdown shooter who's made 44.7% of catch-and-shoot threes and 32.6% of dribble jumper threes in his 2 seasons with Utah. As an energetic defender who's just 25 years old, he seems primed to help a competitive team on both ends. The Heat could be that competitive team, though it depends on what happens with Jimmy Butler this offseason. And you fan, what do you think of the Collin Sexton situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.